meeting is being recorded.
All right, folks, welcome to another great edition of Becoming Apocalypse. And this time, when you start talking the apocalypse, we could say, are we headed for an economic apocalypse? I hope not, but certainly with the inflation report just come out today at 8.5%, and that's the highest in 40 years. The market reacted numerous different ways in the course of a trading. And what does this all mean going forward? And what's some advice for all of us, including those of you who are enjoying trading and are involved in trading? So nobody better. There's nobody better.
That's me.
Okay, there's nobody better than let's sound the alarms, everybody. He's on the scene from TradeGeniusAcademy.com. It is Bob Kudla. Bob, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Paul. That alert you heard was another buy alert from our algo on oil. And that's all you need to know about what's happening with inflation is that, yesterday, today kind of action was the market was expecting a bad inflation report. So it sold off and it started selling off on Friday. And so they slipped this communication thing in there and saying, we expect it to be really bad. And that usually when that happens in trading, usually then they do what's called a sell the news event. In this case, it was buy the news event. But it didn't hold. And so the market went down 77 points yesterday. It climbed up 40 and then it sold off again. So it's going to probably go down another 30 or 40 points maybe tonight or tomorrow. And this is kind of a little bit of bad news because usually Easter week is bullish because traders are leaving. The Jewish traders are having Passover. So a lot of vacations are happening here. They usually put the market on autopilot, but this year is not a normal year for many, many reasons. So the market, is selling off, and I'm looking at it right now as we're talking, is that it couldn't even hold the gains here. So it's down 1675 is the ES, and it was up almost 40 points here at one point. In fact, it was up even higher. It was up almost 70 points from where it closed right now, which is not good at all. And the Fed meeting's coming up the 3rd and 4th, though, or the 2nd and 3rd of May that week. And they're promising us a 50 basis point move. The markets aren't priced for this. People say it's priced in. It's not priced in. You have 20% of the S&P 500 that has to borrow money every month in order for them to make payroll. Okay.
Wow.
And if they keep going up in terms of interest expense, they only have 3 choices, right? Where they have 4. They can shut the doors. They can cut expenses. They can eliminate any kind of special dividends they're doing, or they have to dilute their shares, and which is all bad news for the stock.
You're saying 20% of the S&P 500 companies are borrowing money just to keep up with payroll.
They're cash flow negative. Yeah. So, the big fraud that we've had in the market in the last couple of years is that it's beyond me that companies can go public that aren't self-sustaining. That means they passed on companies that should never be public. This is the private investors should be eating this risk because they get, humongous potential returns, but they pushed these guys out into a hot market, and retail is going to pay the price on this. So Paul, my view is that, now I don't want to scare anybody, so please take this with a grain of salt, but my view is that we'll visit 40 to 45, maybe even 50% down market here between now and the end of 2023. It's kind of baked in the cake. Inflation is not going to go down, and you're starting to see softness now in the freight markets. God knows what's happening in China. Literally, only God knows, because I don't think they know what they're doing over there. And Europe's on suicide watch. So I'm shocked that we're still as high as we are in our markets. and yet we're going to go ahead and raise interest rates into a potential disaster. And so, you know, I don't know how fast it goes. We're just talking this afternoon in our little group, and I call this the Alzheimer's market. It's kind of like the slow goodbye. So it always looks like it's not going to go down, but it then goes down again. And the tell is when it goes down in the afternoons. Dumb money trades in the morning, smart money trades in the afternoon. And when I mean by dumb and smart, I mean informed money. So in the morning, a lot of people get all excited and they buy the open, and then the big money will sell into them all day. And that's what's been happening. And like I said, what the Fed's going to do is not going to help inflation in the short term at all. All they can do is kill demand. And that's really, really a bad way of going about trying to curb inflation.
How high do you think the Fed is going to, between now and the end of 2023, how high do you think the Fed's going to raise interest, prime interest rate?
Yeah, so they're going to do it at this meeting, and they're going to do it a meeting in the summer, and then the stock market's going to crash, and probably by the end of 2023 we'll see negative interest rates. So they can't sustain it. I mean, if they keep this 5 to 8 talk, I think it was trying to scare the market into selling off so that they don't have to do it. But there's simply no way the market can absorb it. I mean, think of your own life, right? People can't afford these increases, and you're going to see demand just fall off a cliff. And we're actually starting to see it.
Yeah, I was on the phone with my dad. He's 86 years old, and he says to me, he can barely drive a car to the grocery store and back. It was about a mile. And he says to me, "Hey, I just went to the store. I paid $5.75 for a gallon of milk and $4.12 for a carton of eggs." He said, "That's $10. He said, "What in the world is going on here?" And he said that the inflation rate is exceeding what his pension is by far. And that's what you're saying. The public can't keep up with this type of hyperinflation. And you're saying that the market may have cushioned itself, built in, what are we, around 33,000 points right now? Are you saying
yes, it's 4,400 about.
Okay. You're saying that by the end of 2023, if we lose 40% of the market, let's just say, we're going to be down to 20,000?
Yeah, I don't follow the Dow so much as the S&P 500.
Right.
Yeah, so I think we'll be in the twos for sure. Look,
a lot of money. That's a lot of money gone.
Yeah, it is. And I don't think a lot of it should have been there in the first place. This is just their normal game of Wall Street stealing. So, I'm an old M&A guy, and the numbers don't map out. So when you buy a company, if you bought it privately, Paul, you would never pay the amount of money that people are paying for stocks right now. It's because when you put your own money to work, you want to be able to get your money back over time. And here, there's just so many hopeless companies out there that when interest rates go up, they not only will they have to pay more in interest, but they may not get the additional loans, okay?
Yeah.
Because the risks start going up. You remember in 2008, for me, I had a home equity line of credit and unused. And I just got a note from my bank saying, "We're taking it from you." Because they had to reduce their risk. You said, "Oh, he's unused." They're grabbing unused money everywhere they can so they can bring their ratios back into balance, and that's going to happen again. So this whole thing is a head fake.
All right. Now, do you think there'll be a lot of companies? Obviously, there's going to be companies closing and laying off again by thousands, if not a million a month. We've seen that in 2008.
Yeah. Look, if you couldn't make money in this environment, okay, either you're going to have to completely you don't necessarily have to get rid of people, but they may be, instead of growing, they're going to have to retrench. So it all depends. So like if you have like a high fixed cost business, you're screwed. Okay, if you have a high variable cost business, then you're okay, because then you could dial down your business,
Yeah.
to kind of right size yourself. But if you have a high fixed cost, you're doomed, especially because you were hoping to grow into those fixed costs. And if you can't in a recessionary environment, you're dead meat. So it's going to be a problem, because a lot of these companies are stuffed in the S&P 500, and if 22% of them have to make some sort of capital adjustment or financial adjustment, it's going to bring the stock market right down. And it takes good companies with them, because people have to sell everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, but look, as we talked many times, there's a bull market somewhere. Okay, so for people listening, if you don't join my service, I would suggest you have some really good hard talks with your financial advisors, because their job is to not get sued. Okay, and their secondary job is to make you money. Right now, it's been easy for them. All I have to do is wake up in the morning, the stock market's been going up, but that's not going to happen anymore.
No.
And you're going to have to start seeing. I know. Look, my wife has a pension with with Tia Cref, and they're reporting -6% for the first quarter. People are going to start opening those statements up, and they're going to see like, whoa, what's this? And that could start panics too. So you're going to need to start talking to these people and saying, hey, I need to trim out to some cash here, or certain commodities are going to do okay, depending if you can self-direct, like uranium's fine, and energy's holding up. Look, oil's back over $100 a barrel again.
Now, oil, I mean,
because
I guess with the war with Russia and Ukraine, that's going to help hold the price of oil up, obviously, because Europe can't get enough oil, and they're under a stranglehold. That'll hold up for a while. Energy should hold up for a while, and I think commodities like wheat and barley and corn should actually rise due to the fact that the breadbasket in Ukraine can't nobody's farming in Ukraine right now,
right.
So
Yes, those food stocks. Yeah, because you really can't buy the commodities, so you need to look at some of the food companies, like something as simple as buying Kroger or buying Hormel. You're not going to get rich off buying those, but there's a good place for you to store your money, while this is pushing out. But eventually, food prices are going to fall, Paul, just like anything else, because people just won't be able to afford it. So
yeah,
weird things start happening.
yeah,
And in the United States, prices will go up until it becomes intolerable. Don't get me wrong, but we'll start shutting our doors to exports too. The political heat will be so high
yep.
that and once we do that, because we're a big exporter, then prices will come down here. And then we produce our own energy. So ironically, the United States is going to be okay in this from like an economic standpoint. From a stock standpoint, we're going to take a big hit.
Yeah.
But the rest of the world, oh, good night, nurse. Sri Lanka just defaulted on their debt, and they're just they're just a Jenga. They're just the first Jenga log to be pulled out. So people have to be really careful. And look, China, I just don't know what's going on in China.
They're not feeding their people. They people are being locked down, even though the virus isn't out there really. They're just locking people down. I've seen videos where people screaming out the window saying, we're starving to death. They promised them, look, we're going to bring you food, like Meals on Wheels, but the wheels aren't bringing the meals. Is it because they're out of food? Is it because they're hurting that bad?
Well, that's some of it. They're having shortages. So, but you got to remember too, China is not monolithic, and the two provinces they're shutting down are in the south. Xi's power base is in the north. And so this could be maybe a start of I was joking, they say, watch out for, the black swan events. This might be the black Peking duck event, because Guangdong and Shanghai, those are two southern provinces. And look, people are already starting to break into places.
Yeah.
So, and I don't care how many soldiers China has. If you have 50 million people that decide they don't want to be part of your government anymore, good good luck controlling them.
Luck with that. That's
You know,
right.
you may see China split in two. Remember there was always a South and North Kingdom, and so it could get really interesting here. Really fast. So, you look at that. I always I just laughed. I said the countries that are the most totalitarian are the ones that are going to implode here.
Yep.
And you got China imploding, you got Russia imploding. You know, with Russia, look, they're dangerous because they have nukes. China's dangerous because they have nukes. Don't worry about Taiwan. China's going to have their own problems. Taiwan can make China go back into the Stone Age, just like China can make Taiwan go into the Stone Age. There's enough missiles in Taiwan that could take every port out of China. Now, if that happens, the rest of the world's in deep weeds. So all these things. They say you buy a wall of worry. Well, this isn't the wall of worry. This is the slopes of Kilimanjaro. These are going straight up, and at some point, you don't, you can't make it.
So what do traders? Okay, so folks, again, this is Bob Kudla with us at TradeGeniusAcademy.com. Now he's had tremendous success. Bob, you've had tremendous success over the last at least 5 years, if not more. But this is going to be a little more tough. I mean, I think I'm saying that next 18 months, people that are trading are going to really need to know what they're doing. They need to be educated on how to invest in the right industries and pull out. Tell us about that. How's that going to work? Give us at least an overview of that.
Yeah. So, what we do is we always have our macro themes. So that's kind of my, I think my personal wheelhouse. I kind of understand where things go, but we have algorithms that just look at money flow and look at momentum and look at Fibonacci levels, their mathematical models, and we built that into our algorithms. So we test our macro themes, and if we know they're good, then we just turn the algos loose on finding trades for us. And like I said, there's a bull market somewhere, and you have to understand kind of what market environment you're in. We're still in what's called a stock pickers market, because we're not totally deflating out yet. Like today, we made money on like a weird electronics company. We made money on an oil energy company. We made money on a uranium company. Those ones, we closed those trades out for people today. I sent you the attaboys. People just like so excited. We made money on a silver miner today. So, so there's always something, even though the market's getting a little hinky here. And then when we know we have a macro theme is changing to deflation, then there are other trades you take. Like, there's this tech company out there, the ARC, it's like for this lady created this ETF for innovation companies. Well, somebody created a short against that. Well, we trade that every time we think the market's going to go down. We went back into that again. That's SARK. You can be in TNX, which is the mid-level bond fund. 2008 TNX, I mean not TNX, TLT, which is the opposite of TNX, which is the 10-year. TLT went up 100% during the 2008 market crash.
Wow.
Okay, so there are areas in which you can make money and park, and if you know how to do puts and calls, it gives you some additional strength. There's like 4 or 5 companies with price to sales ratios over 100. Well, that's unsustainable. They'll never grow into those growth numbers. So you can buy long-term puts on those and profit from them to collapse. Some of them already dropped 60%, have popped up 30% in the last 5 weeks, and they're going to go down probably another 60%. You can make good living on just 1 or 2 of those. You can fight your way through. Maybe you'll have to hold a portfolio open, by these kind of puts. So we teach people how to do that, and then we also provide them access to our algorithm, and then we also give them trades. The attaboys that you see that you post all the time, those are trades that we give out. So so that's what people say, and our track record is where we win 2 out of 3. And we're profitable. As of yesterday, we were 181% annualized. So we do pretty good. Yeah. And we're only trades for 2, 3, 4 days at a time. We do have day trading rooms, but for the most people don't do that or can't do that. Those swings are good enough. You could use them on your phone. You could be at work and take the trade. So, and And you know me, we're not Lambo people. We're really, really conservative. So we most of the trades we put you in are names you've heard of. So we don't YOLO, you only live once kind of trades,
Right.
we
Right.
don't FOMO, we don't fear missing out, we don't chase the big moves and stuff like that. So we there's a lot of good trades in the middle there. And then we're always very nervous. So, I wouldn't be in business very long if I kept giving people dog trades. You
No.
know, so we um, so we go ahead and we're just really conservative about the trades that we're in. There's another trade out there that people are gonna get to know very well called UVIX, which is the volatility trade. So when the market gets scary like this, volatility goes up. There's trades you can make in that area too. So there's a lot of opportunities in this environment, and it's okay to be in cash too. So, what we've been doing personally is we've been slowly bleeding out our IRAs to more and more and more cash because I don't trade those like I trade my trading accounts. We kind of leave those alone and just play longer themes. But we've been bleeding those out to cash. So, if it does fall, I have cash now to buy back in at lower prices. So when it rises again, I get that leverage. So
You're,
that's how we do it. And let me do a quick plug. You can check us out at tradelegagenius.com. We put specials together for Paul. Day before Thanksgiving, I mean Thanksgiving is Easter is when the price discounts end, but 65% on anything bundled, 35% anything not bundled. Promo code SPRING. We'll give you a lifelong lesson. So, some people have trading us since they started. Some people just hang out for a year or two, but at the end of the day, we'll give you really good tools so you can be really effective trading.
amen to that. Well, now currency. Let's talk about that a little bit because I know that we've been here in America, the quantum easing, just constantly printing money. I don't know what the Biden administration's plan is economically, to be quite honest with you, Bob. I don't. I mean, to print money like mad, inflation's going up. He would love to tax us. One way he is taxing America is the inflation rate.
Right.
So what do you think the Biden administration is going to do in the next 18 months? Are they going to Congress? I don't think is going to build back better. I don't think that's going to happen. And then he'll be a real lame duck after the midterms. But there still could be a lot of damage. Is there anything positive that he may do that could help us in this period of economic inconsistency?
Well, the best thing politicians can do is nothing. So we're probably getting the best we can get out of him. So, look, Biden only has till the midterms. I don't care what everybody tells about cheating, 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 cheating. I think that's going to get overwhelmed. I think that's going to get overwhelmed. And so I think you look at these local elections that just happened last week, all went right.
Yeah.
Districts that were never Republicans before went Republican.
Yeah.
Districts that were non-white went Republican. I mean, people are done. And so the Biden administration made two really strategic errors. The first one, they went after Mama Bear.
Yep.
Okay. And with the pandemic, I don't think we'll ever repeat that again. People are so angry about what happened and what they're doing with the children. And number two is now they're going to start screwing with people's homes by raising interest rates. And then you're going to start pissing off Daddy Bear. And,
Yep.
and he's not going to be able to provide for his family. And that cuts across all economic lines. And so, look, I live out here in California. We're obviously multiracial out here. And I will tell you, the Hispanic community is none too pleased. They're socially very conservative. And so they don't like this stuff, but they'll tolerate it. Most people will tolerate some of this stuff when they're making money. But when they're no longer making money, they don't tolerate the crap that's been being, all they care about is their social agenda, if you notice.
Yeah.
And that's all going to go to the buy side and
Yeah.
gone.
That's a non-fact. It will be eliminated. Nobody cares about all that social agenda when they don't have a job or they can't afford the rent,
food,
or their or the food, or their mortgage is on a if you're not on a fixed interest rate, if you're on a one of those that, what do you call those, that evolving?
Oh, you mean variable rate loans?
Yeah, if you're on a variable, you're dead. Okay, you have to have a fixed one. And a lot of people are on variable because they couldn't get a fixed rate. So there's going to be some, and rent. Oh, by the way, rent is going up everywhere. Okay. It's just really, really weird. I mean, I guess what you're saying is the Hispanic community. I was going to ask you about that because when I'm in Florida, a pretty large Hispanic community in Florida, and they are very, very right wing. They are very right. And
Yeah.
now the border with the influx of thousands of people coming across the border, I think the Democrat plan was to flood the country with immigrants and convince them, make them all voters and make them all Democrats. But do you think that that will happen, or will the majority of the Hispanic people, when they come across and they figure this thing out, like the ones that are here, will they go right?
Well, I think the people, I don't know if they'll go right, but they're not, I think there's a plurality now. So, it used to be like you could just count on any non-white ethnic group to go Democrat. There's only one left, and that's the African American, and we don't know. I mean, look, the only reason why they won the last elections was they just mailed and voted all those people. They
Right.
just stamped it and sent it in. And, so a lot of those laws now are going to prevent that on a go forward basis. So those people tend to be apathetic. But I just saw a study yesterday that showed just the shifts, like non-college educated white, men and women, hard shift to the right. College educated men, hard shift to the right. College educated women, kind of flattish. But I think that's hiding deeper things. If you ask college educated with children, hard to the right.
Yeah.
College educated, no children, they're leftists, because they make money, they don't have kids, they don't understand the problems that people have. They live in the city, so they don't have to drive to go to work. They go to the theater, so they're a different environment when people have to come home every day and like, oh my God, I have hamburger helper, but no hamburger,
Yeah. And
you know,
three kids
and
are
I grew up
wondering,
that way. Yeah.
yeah, and there's like,
And you
Dad,
grew
I
up
need
that way.
shoes. And
Yeah.
Dad, I need shoes, and this kid's growing out of his clothes, and they're hungry and they need two suppers every night. Yeah, been there, done that, and
Yeah.
understand. It was funny. I was talking to my son that lives in Japan, and he's getting ready to come back home to America, and he can't wait. And he said, Dad, when I got out of college, I'll be honest with you, he said, I was a philosophy major, and I just was totally a lefty. Now I'm married with two children. I'm 32 years old. I'm a strong right-wing conservative. And I said, well, that's what happens when you finally wake up and you understand the real world. And I think because this older population of the baby boomers, they're a mature group that are still, I still think they might end up being the greatest generation again, to kind of help hold this country together from going off the fiscal cliff and the social cliff. I don't know. A lot of prayers going up. A lot of them are churchgoers and believers. And
Yeah.
I still believe in
Well,
America.
I think my daughter's generation, I think, is more. A lot of baby boomers I know never really grew up. They call them Peter Pans, and
Yeah.
because they had it pretty easy. I don't know, Paul. I was probably a lot like you. I was telling my daughter yesterday. I said, because we're talking about, she wants to fly to Coop here. She has a job and everything. Can't get rent. So I said, don't be in a big rush here. Save your money up. Rents are going to come down. And I told her, I said, I was 23 in the Marine Corps before I had my first car. When I
Yeah.
was in college, I hitchhiked. If I couldn't get home, I hitchhiked home. So I mean, so it wasn't like, they had a car, they had this, they had that. I mean, none of my friends had cars, and then
No.
I had one pair of jeans for the whole school year. I said,
I
and
know all
these kids
about
have
it.
a pair of jeans for every day of the week,
Yeah.
So, and it was like, we never thought anything of that. So I think the reality that's going to strike people, and is going to be, in one sense it's going to be bad, in their sense it's going to be cathartic, because you never really needed that stuff in the first place. You had money, and you got used to it, and so I think that's not good news for the left, because the left counts on constant distraction and anxiety. And once people realize that the anxiety they're putting on you is not real, then you resent them. And
Yeah.
I think that's what happened with the pandemic. is going to happen with the economic thing too, because they're just totally indifferent. They're totally indifferent to the problem, and people are screaming at them, and they're not even addressing it. So to answer your long answer to the question is that I think nothing's going to happen. They're going to lose the election. They're going to lose the presidential election. Biden's not going to finish out his term. If you notice, a lot of the long knives are coming out on Hunter.
Yep.
And so weird stuff's starting to show up on Twitter and the internet about Joe. And so I think they're setting the stage, and I don't know what this means for Kamala, but I think he's going to be exit stage left. She's a lot more easily, contained, even though she babbles like he does. I mean, my gosh, this is like, I never seen anything like it. He's incompetent because he can't help himself. She's just incompetent.
Right.
And so, I just worry, I worry about Russia popping a nuke and they can't wake Joe up. With Kamala, they're going to pop a nuke and she's not going to know what decision to take.
Right.
So yeah, so it's going to be really interesting. So yeah, time to be conservative, in many ways. And if you made a lot of money in the last couple of years, you need to probably try to push that into cash. The dollar's not going to go down, by the way. Don't let anybody tell you. Dollar's going to go up. It's going to go up a lot. This is what happens in these economic contractions. The dollar actually goes up because if dollar debt defaults and there's less dollars around, ironically enough, and then the velocity slows down, which lifts the dollar too. So it's never what you think. Oh, the United States is going to crash. The dollar is going to go down. No, the dollar usually goes up. And so what you're going to look for is dollar going up and gold going up together. And that's going to be a tell. So we think gold and silver and all those they'll catch the first bid out of this liquidity issue.
Yep.
Just like what happened in 2009. When they came out of the crash, gold and silver took off until 2011, and you're going to see the same thing happen this time. And that's where the money, the people are going to want what's called hard money, right? So gold, silver, platinum, palladium, oil, your home, all those things will come back first out of this crash. But a lot of financial assets are going to be stuck, and a lot of speculative going to be gone too.
Well, what about property values? Will they hold strong?
It's hard. Well, they have to go down just because, people like you and I, when we retire, we don't hold on to all our properties, or we don't keep the big house, right? Look, my house is too big with 3 of us, and when my daughter leaves, we have nothing. We don't need. We can live in a condo. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
Who's going to buy a house, right? At California suburban beach prices, right? Nobody. So they're going to have to come down to these can start affording these homes. So I think property values are going to fall. We probably saw the last hurrah, probably at least in my lifetime. So.
Yeah. Awesome advice here. A lot of information, folks. You want to go to tradegeniusacademy.com. That's www.tradegeniusacademy.com and find out about all of the programs he has to get in. This is a chance to take control of your own destiny, to learn how to manage your own money, and to do it from your home. Set up an office right there in your home and work at it a little bit at a time. And you'll grow in knowledge and understanding. And Bob's track record has been very, very good. And everybody's happy with him. That's because they're making money and they're making smart moves, and that comes from knowledge, and Bob's got it. That's why you're a genius.
Good marketing term. I should be called Trade Okay.
Well, it was great. It was great talking to you again today, and keep doing the good work. And we look forward to getting your information again next month.
Yeah, hey, by the time I talk to you next, I'll probably be talking to you from Florida. So.
Oh yeah, because you've been thinking about moving, haven't you?
Oh no, we're just going for vacation. I was going to do some education down there. No, my wife's not a big Florida fan, but we like to visit. So, but yes, so we're going to go down to Marco Island, and do a little vacation. It's been years and years and years since we've done that, but I had a trip planned for business, and that kind of got pushed off. But we decided to keep the vacation. So
there you go.
Yeah,
go enjoy it. That's right, Marco.
Yes, I'll be nice. I'll be nice and tan.
All right, that'd be fun. All right, we'll talk to you then. That's
Thanks, Paul. Bye-bye.
tradegeniusacademy.com. That's tradegeniusacademy.com, folks. Go check it out. God bless all of you. Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome. You
And
find it?
I found it somewhere. Yeah, here it is. I'm going to push this button. That's going to end it. And there it is right there. I'm going to stop.